Hello friends, I'm George, the nice-smelling gentleman. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Probably I'm a little bit late to the party with this video, but today I wanted to do a winter fragrance list. Winter has already started. We've seen a couple of snowstorms around here in the past couple of weeks, but better late than never, right? So today I'm going to show you a total of let's go with the number 14. A total of 14 fragrances, and I'll split this video in 3 different parts. The first part will be about 6 Middle Eastern fragrances. The second part will be about 6 designer fragrances, and then I'll finish off the video with 2 niche scents. I'll start this video off with a scent from the house of fragrance world that's called Starman Nebula, and this is a clone of a long discontinued fragrance from the house of Thierry Mugler called Amen Pure Malt. Now, fragrance world have not exactly nailed the opening of Starman Nebula when they are trying to clone Pure Malt. The opening here feels lighter, less dense and less sweet compared to the original. You still got the same players, some fruits, some fruity sweetness, some boozy note, but the dry down will get you very close to the original scent. You got on the dry down, you got some vanilla, you got a strong boozy note, you got a coffee note. All in all, the dry down is very similar to the original scent. Performance here is a little bit above average. Projection more on the moderate side, and the price tag, especially in North America, is very low. If you enjoy my videos, guys, if you enjoy my content, I would really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, so you don't miss any of my future videos. Okay, let's move on to fragrance number 2, which comes from the house of Zimaya, and it's called, I hope that I'll get the name right, Oudh. This is a clone of YSL Babycat, and actually a very decent clone to Babycat. You got pretty much the same players, you got some spiciness in the opening. On the dry down you get the mix of suede, leather, vanilla and incense. Performance so far from my testing has been really good, well above average. Projection is well above average. I really like the bottle as well, in this shiny gold color that turns into green down the bottom, and the best thing out of all is the price tag of this fragrance. I was able to get this from Notino here in Europe for roughly about 20 euros, which will translate into something like $22-23. Super cheap fragrance that will get you very close to Babycat. So if you're looking for a clone of Babycat for next to no money, definitely check out Zimaya Wujood. The next 3 fragrances will be from the house of Lattafa, and the first one is one of my most favorite wintertime cheapies, and it's called Ameer Oud Intense. One of my best discoveries of last year. A super nice scent. It's somewhat close to Mesa Margiela's By the Fireplace, not a direct clone, but you got pretty much the same vibes. You got a strong woodsy note in here, you got a strong incense note as well, very nice smoky vibes, and you also have quite a lot of sweet notes. You got vanilla, you got sugar, you got great performance with this fragrance, you got great projection, super low price tag. I really like the simplistic and elegant design of the bottle, and all in all, as I said, a super lovely wintertime scent, very cozy, and in my opinion great for winter nights. The second Lattafa fragrance is going to be one of the newer Lattafas in my collection, and it's called Liam, or as it's in some places it's marketed, Liam Grey. This is a great clone of BDK's Gris Charnel. Really good clone of that fragrance. You got a lot of the same players, you got cardamom, you got fig, you got iris, you got tonka bean, you got vanilla, sandalwood, a really creamy, woody, sweet scent with a touch of powderness as well because of the iris and the tonka bean in here. Performance, at least so far from my testing, hasn't been like stellar. It's a little bit above average. Projection is more on the moderate side, but scent wise this is very close to the original scent. Another fragrance that I got from Notino here in Europe, this one for roughly about 25 euros, which will translate into something like $30. And the last Lattafa in this video is going to be, of course, Lattafa Khamrah. One of the sweetest fragrances in my collection, and I absolutely love this thing. You know, I imagine that Lattafa took all the sweet notes in the world and put them into one fragrance, and they called it Khamrah. You got vanilla, you got amber, you got tonka bean, you got cinnamon, you got praline, dates. As I said, super sweet fragrance with fantastic performance, fantastic projection. It's an absolute unisex type of scent. High compliment factor. All in all, a great scent for wintertime usage, and I've been loving this fragrance ever since I got my hands on it. And the last Middle Eastern fragrance in this video is going to be from the house of Oros and their pure line, and it's called Leather Gold. An absolutely fantastic clone of Louis Vuitton's Ombre Nomade, and I mean it. This is almost like a one-to-one copy to the original fragrance. You got rose, you got leather, you got oud, you got raspberry, you got incense, some amber sweetness on the dry down. Super fantastic quality. This fragrance has a beast mode performer, a beast mode projecting fragrance as well. Super dense, super thick, and I absolutely love it. Presentation is also great, and the only problem with this one is the price tag. This is basically at the designer level pricing when it comes to the price tag of this fragrance, but I think it absolutely deserves this price tag, and also it's still like 5 or 6 times cheaper compared to the original scent. And now let's move on to the designer part of this video, designer fragrance part of this video. The first designer scent that I'm going to show you is going to be the original Spice Bomb from Viktor&Rolf. A real classic wintertime scent, super spicy as the name would suggest. You know, you got pink pepper, you got cinnamon on the dry down, you got tobacco, you got vetiver, some sweetness as well. Still, even to this day, one of the best wintertime scents in my opinion, and you know, a unique bottle design. All in all, a fantastic offering from the house of Viktor&Rolf. This thing, even the newer batches, still is a great performer, you know, great projector, also has a very high compliment factor. So if you're looking for a classic wintertime scent from on the designer side, definitely check out Spice Bomb from Viktor&Rolf. The next fragrance is going to be from the house of Givenchy, and it's called Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Prive. This thing takes on the original DNA of the Givenchy Gentleman EDP and puts a bit of a twist on it, you know, making this scent warmer and even better for wintertime usage. You still got some of the original you know, notes like some spices, iris, vanilla, but here you got an added boozy note and an added chestnut note, which, as I said, makes this fragrance sort of even deeper, even warmer, and makes it great for wintertime usage and especially for winter nights. Performance here is not as good as I get with the original EDP version, but still it's not a bad performer. The next fragrance is going to be from the house of Armani, and it's called Stronger With You Absolutely. This is another case when you take the original DNA of the Stronger With You line with an added boozy note and added chestnut note again, as well, like with Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Prive. The end result here is that this feels even sweeter than the original Stronger With You and Stronger With You Intensely. It's a little bit darker, a little bit sweeter, you know, a little bit longer lasting as well. This is a parfum concentration fragrance. It's a very nice wintertime scent, especially good for date nights and for winter nights. Very strong performance, strong projection, and very high compliment factor as well. The next designer scent is going to be from the house of Gucci, and it's called Intense Oud. Now, I've been chasing this fragrance for a very long time before I was finally able to get my hands on a bottle of this one last month. And what can I say about this fragrance? It's a fantastic blend of oud, leather, amber, and incense. Basically, this is you know, the oud theme done by a famous designer house and done in a very nice way. It's very well blended, you know, got the right amount of oud, get the right amount of sweetness, ambery sweetness, the right amount of leather, the right amount of incense. A super fantastic, dark and mature scent. The next designer scent is going to be from Jean-Paul Gaultier, and that's the latest addition to the Le Male line called Male Elixir. Probably the best designer release of this year. It takes on the original Le Male DNA, adds some tobacco, adds a lot of sweetness from a honey note, and the end result is absolutely fabulous. Fantastic performance, fantastic projection, super high complement factor, and also I think this is the best looking bottle in all of the Le Male line. All in all, as I said, this is a fantastic release from Jean Paul Gaultier, and I think this is the best designer release of 2023. And the last designer fragrance in this video is going to be, of course, none other than Dior Homme Intense. I cannot do a wintertime list without mentioning one of the members of the Dior Homme line. I absolutely love this fragrance. This is one of my all-time, most favorite DNAs or scent profiles. You got lavender, you got, of course, lipsticky iris, you got ombre, you got pear, you got cedar. Men's perfumery at its finest. Really, I mean, that's the case with this fragrance. Very long lasting projection, maybe a little bit more on the moderate side, but it's a super classic fragrance, a little bit more mature, maybe, a very dressed up type of scent, but absolutely fantastic, and I love it for what it is. The last designer scent in this video, Dior Homme Intense. And let's finish off this video with two niche scents. The first one is going to be from the house of Mancera and their red beast called Red Tobacco. And absolutely a powerhouse of a fragrance. It's very spicy. You got some fruits, you got green apple. On the dry down you got cinnamon, you got tobacco, you got vanilla, you got amber. Super sweet, super dense, super loud. Yes, it feels kind of synthetic, but in a good way. And I have one of the older batches of this fragrance, and as I said, this is an absolute beast. It's a room filler type of scent, super long lasting, 12 hours easily on skin, days on clothes. All in all, a very loud fragrance, and this is a fragrance for people who want to be noticed. If you want to be noticed, just use 4 or 5 sprays of Red Tobacco from Mancera and people will definitely notice. And one thing I forgot to mention is that somehow I've managed to lose the cap of the original cap of the Red Tobacco, so that's why I'm using this goofy plastic cap just in order to have a cap on. And let's move on to the last niche, the second niche fragrance and the last fragrance in this video, and it comes from the house of Nishane and it's called Ani. This is probably the best vanilla fragrance, vanilla scented fragrance that I have ever tried. The opening is very sort of fresh and citrusy, slightly spicy, and once you spray this you may think that this is a freshy type of scent, but after a few minutes this goes straight to the vanilla heaven that is the dry down of this fragrance. As I said, probably the best vanilla fragrance scented fragrance on the market. Fantastic performance, fantastic projection, super high complement factor, another totally unisex scent, and all in all I absolutely love this one. The last niche fragrance and the last fragrance in this video, the Nishane Ani. And so in today's video I showed you a total of 14 wintertime scents that can serve pretty much any type of budget. I showed you 6 Middle Eastern fragrances, some of them quite cheap. I showed you 6 designer fragrances, and I ended up the list with 2 niche scents. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in my next video. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.